Anyway, welcome back. I hope everyone had a lovely holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, or whatever holiday you celebrate. Uh, but yes, welcome back to another episode of Risky Business. Of course, I am your humble Sir Goatman Games, and with everyone here, we have Barris, Bread, Crow, Banjax, and Ferret.
Boop boop.
Hello.
And we will return back to the story we left off. But a disclaimer, remember, most stories have a bit of exaggeration. So take it with a grain of salt and a sip of mead, and sit back and listen to this epic tale that I shall weave. We last left with our party fleeing the manor of Lord Rathan, the ruler of the divine kingdom of Wrath. We watch we watched as our party fled into the forest, being undoubtedly watched from the shadows. Tension still high, Bread still angry from the scene of his kin on the floor. Ferret still very much in her head over the events that what happened. We left we leave the scene of the manor to the deep, dark forests with very, very little light. The only light emanating is from a deep, dark glow from our resident Grandpa Barris, our ghostly Grandpa Barris. As you guys are running through the forest, I want to hear and understand the thoughts going through each of your heads. We will start with you, Numpty, and we'll go down from left to right, or from right to left, according to Ferret's little overlay here. So Numpty, what is going through your head right now as you guys flee through the forest?
Are you sure you really want to know this? He is a
I
senile old man.
this
Yeah,
This
is
just thinking about being a monkey.
is he
yeah,
still an orangutan or whatever he was?
Yes.
he is still an orangutan as he did not transform back from uh
Do you
between
have a
sessions.
sudden craving for potassium, Humpty?
I see what you did there. Shut the fuck up. No,
No.
Great start, great start.
okay, well, Numpty's probably appreciating the um the sturdy back that he's riding on. Don't be
All
dirty.
right.
That's right. I forgot you hopped onto Bread's back. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yep. All
dangly
right.
bits and everything,
Well,
which probably feel nice and refreshing at the moment. So
Oh my god.
yeah, that's
right.
probably what's going through Numpty's mind. Just ah,
As you guys flee, Numpty, not a care in the world. Crow, what's going on in your mind as you guys flee the scene?
Thinking back, it really looked like a bit of a close call, you know? Like everything looked very dire. So there's a certain sense of pride of getting out, of making sure that everybody got out pretty unscathed. So
Okay. Bread, one of the probably the more anticipated answers I'm hoping for. What's going on through your head as you guys flee?
Anger. Much anger, surpassed only by my instinct that we need to get out of here as quickly as possible. But I have lots of questions for the princess, primarily focused around what the hell have you got us into here?
uh, all right. Grandpa Varys, what about you?
Well, it all started with Ferret saying her sister's name, so curiosity mostly. What's going on? Why is Cordelia being mentioned here? And
Hmm.
why did they try to kill us?
All right. And Ferret, what about you?
I'd say was disappointment. That no one, well, certain people didn't respect her enough to follow her rules strictly. And I guess some annoyance at that. And she's just wondering, what could be, more important than not starting a war.
Okay, okay.
I guess also some worry about the whole Cordelia thing. Let's not forget that.
Yes. That's right. You were victim to a uncontrollable urge.
Yeah.
You would even say that it was felt magical, like a spell, an enchantment, but you can't be certain. You still have the amulet with you. You never discarded it. But questions will have to wait. I will. I want the party to make a collective roll. Three
Oh.
of you must succeed in the rolls here. You may make a roll whatever you seem is deemed necessary for the situation, whether it be acrobatics, athletics, stealth, survival, or nature. Any of those to traverse and get through the forest without uh problems. So we have Crow with a 24 stealth check, Ferret with a 22, Barris with an 8, Numpty with a 17, and Red with a 19. So four of you did pass, so everyone
Yay!
kind of roughly gets through this forest. You guys aren't really heading in any particular direction. You guys are currently fleeing, so there is no direction. So more than half of you pass the check, so you guys succeed. You guys eventually come out of the forest and into a small clearing. No roads, no cities, no towns, just an empty field. And the party must decide what the next actions need to be. What do you guys do?
Let's
Uh,
rest, maybe.
you think? I feel like we're
Do we
probably
even
still a
have
bit.
enough stuff to set up camp or anything like that?
Are we not still a bit close?
Yeah, it feels like we should go for a bit longer.
Mm.
I mean, we did travel quite a lot already, so I think we're fine.
How long have we been running through the forest?
Good question.
Uh, uh, who has the highest dexterity of amongst you? Or who has the lowest dexterity? I'm sorry. Who has the lowest dexterity amongst you? Not
I
Ferret.
had
I know that.
Probably not.
11.
You have 11 in your dexterity.
Yeah.
15.
14.
15. Okay, so I think it is the 11. Give me. All right. Well, whoever has the lowest, give me either a nature check or or I'm sorry, no. A acrobatics or a nature check. 13. You guys haven't traveled super far, but you guys feel like you've gotten far enough away to be out of harm's way.
All right.
Okay.
Well, again, I would like to take some rest because most of my spell have been used, and if we stumble upon some enemies, I'm pretty much useless.
Okay, that sounds like a wise decision then.
Yes. You
Yeah,
guys
I think
wish?
we've just had a bit of intense time here, and followed by that sprint. So, I think we're probably all in need of a sit down and perhaps a chat.
You sound
Well,
like you have something on your mind, Brett.
You do indeed.
yes.
Oh boy.
Well, no rolls necessary. If you guys decide to set up camp here, very much can.
Yeah.
Do we want to go just inside sort of the tree cover so that, we're not overly exposed?
Yeah, we are kind of on the run, so
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
actually, would any chance some team might be familiar with the area?
Uh, give me a nature roll. Not really. I mean, the terrain seems relatively uh like like normal from what you can like gather, but overall, like you've never really been here. You've never really been outside of Chaosity. And Crow,
Oh, no, 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 no. I outright refuse that to be a fact.
well, I said never really. You mean you have it traveled outside, but you don't recognize it.
I
I'm not
mean,
from-
wait, we had him join as our guide because he'd been outside and knew.
Yeah. He's over 70 years old. He's gotten around.
That's right. My apologies. I will retcon that. My apologies.
I apologize for my abrupt response to
No,
that.
no, you're fine. That is my mistake, and I apologize. That is a fault at mine. But yes, no, I apologize. But around here, like, to specify, no, you haven't really been around here. You don't really recognize the area, so there is that. Crow, I did see that you rolled a nature check as well. Were you trying to see if you recognize this area as well?
Yeah.
Um, you, Joe, you've don't. Okay, no. You have a good sense of direction here. You know where you left. You know what, like, so you know you. I'm sorry. You know that you guys left heading west. The further west you go, eventually you'll hit the coast. Um, there is a there is a city along the coast known as Monterelli, but it is not
Monterelli.
it is not a coastal like port town. So not ships don't really go there all that often. But you guys aren't super far off from the capital city, and it would take a few days travel to to get there. But you have a rough idea, a good sense of direction. Like you kind of held your bearings a little bit.
All right, Lowly.
Yes.
Hmm.
Is there okay? So, all right. So everyone has set up camp. Tents are pitched inside the tree line. Time. Everyone can take a long rest as needed. To regain your health, your spell slots, and any other actions or abilities or feats that require uh, a long rest.
I don't remember how to do that. Oh, it's
It's
up
just
there.
a
Okay.
big button.
Yes.
Who knew it would be the long rest button? Remember, you have to kind of double click
Yeah,
to take
yeah,
long
I
rest.
got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, just the long rest button
Yes.
to long rest.
Who would have thought it?
Who would have thunk it?
Yes. But going on from there, what do you guys do from here on? What plans do you guys have? What things that need to be discussed?
Oh boy, I think we know. Come on, Brad. Let's have it.
Well, I feel like you being, well, one, a princess, and two, the person who has set all of this up, I feel that you would probably start.
Huh.
Hi. I like to quickly specify Numpty turns back into person. I think it'd be a bit awkward for them to have the. As much as I love the idea, it'd be awkward for them to have this argument with Numpty still on Bread's back.
You
Just
sure?
kind of blowing
Wait, so you slept
kind
on
of
Brett's
blow,
back?
just blowing raspberries like every time someone makes a point. Like,
What, like every which way but loose?
the point is
Oh, dear.
responding.
Hey, I'm up for it. I think we have a special bond now.
Mm.
Amazing. Okay.
Very cute.
I'd like to
So-
suggest from now on, Numpty knows like just the right spot behind Bread's ear that he likes to have scratched.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Jeez.
Does the DM allow this?
I very much allow it. I mean, we're
Roll
writing
for
his...
animal handling. Yeah.
Oh no. All right,
Oh dear.
but there is obvious tension.
Is it rolling?
Oh, let's
Oh,
go.
what? Right. Oh. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. You do.
Right, Bread, you feel calmer. Enjoy your
You-
argument.
I snarl slightly less, but I still look kind of angry in my eyes.
There's a thank you
Okay.
for giving me
Ferret. Obviously, the most tension here is Ferret with her discontents of recent actions and events, and Bread
Yes.
with the absolute rage and anger that he feels seeing his kin used as decoration. Who wants to start off this conversation?
Well, it seems like Brad's pushing it in my direction. So yeah. Actually, I'm not so sure about that. I feel like because if Ferret steps forward, she's going to get all the awkward questions about what the hell was going on, who's Cordelia, and all that. So I feel like perhaps Ferret, she'd sort of wait until
You know
someone
what,
else
Ferret?
said someone.
What was the fucking deal there?
Okay.
You just
Ooh.
sort of like spat it out like a name. Well, what was it for Delia?
Yeah, princess. I
And
mean,
all
what
of
the
a
hell was
sudden,
all this about? I mean,
all of
you know,
they're
you
attacking us. Like Is there something you're not telling us? Because that was very dangerous. And then telling us as well to not kill them. Like, that was a life-threatening situation. What we were supposed to do.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, what on earth is this? Diplomatic mission, you said. Come and show off your kit, you said. And then next thing I know, everyone's attacking us. There's one of my dead kinsmen on the floor. I mean, what on earth have you got us into here?
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair start. How am I gonna get myself out of this one, huh? Okay. I feel like Ferret, she sort of stands there, and sort of gone is that like goofy, friendly princess vibe that she had going on. You sort of look at her, and she seems more stern. She seems like a queen would. Right. What was it? You guys were like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Believe-
basically, what the hell?
Yeah.
Basically, what
We're
the hell?
sullenly like just being introduced to these people, and all of a sudden they attack us.
Look, I had no idea that was going to happen. I have no idea. I'm much like you guys. I have no idea what on earth is going on here. I mean, I am certainly not here to make friends, so let's talk. Bread, what the hell were you thinking? I mean, I warned you. One wrong step and you could start a war, but you know, you went ahead and you risked that anyway. Why is everyone turning against me when you could have risked the lives of thousands of people in chaosity?
Me
sorry.
start a war. I'm not the one who had someone skinned and laying on the floor.
Oh, so what you feel is more important than the lives of thousands in chaosity?
What about our lives? Like, how aren't we owed like a bit of an explanation? What was even that name that you said?
We got out of there, didn't we? What do you
Yeah.
mean, what about our lives? We made it out just fine.
Yeah,
You
was
got
it was very
possessed
close.
there.
Do
Are
they
we safe right now?
do
Are
they
we...
know? Do they know it was a possession,
I mean,
or did they just hear me say a name?
Anyone other than Ferret can either give me an insight check or an arcana check to see if you guys know what exactly happened. Sorry,
Well,
Brett.
Brett certainly doesn't.
Brett, you're
I was
too
angry.
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
paying attention.
Yeah, Brett, you're way too fixated on the fact that you saw a dead kinsman.
Yeah, I
Crow,
can't focus.
you know, based off the events that happened, that when she mentioned Cordelia's name was very unnatural. You
Look,
know, like, it wasn't her. Barris, you know magic.
I know Cordelia.
Well,
I know whose
True.
name that was.
true. Barris is already
You-
aware.
Yeah, Barris, you know Cordelia. You recognize the fact that there's her name was mentioned, but you also you know that magic was involved, but you don't necessarily know that it was not Ferret. You think it was just a like it appeared more natural to you in conversation. But other than that, you don't really know anything other than the fact that something felt magical about what happened before everything broke out.
Okay, so with I guess Barris is aware that something's going on then.
whatever happened there,
Barris knows
wasn't
something
normal.
was going on. Crow definitely knows something else is uh something else is at play here.
Cool.
Something is like seriously wrong there. After you said that name, they started to attack us. Do you know who that is? I know it might have not, like, everything seemed very suspicious about that moment. And you seem very confused as well. But give us all the information that you can give so that we can trust you.
Okay, fair enough. I am aware of that name. That name belongs to a dark mage, who is an enemy of the kingdom of Chaosity.
Give me a deception roll.
Don't do this to me.
Give me a deception roll. What is okay? If you look, if your passive okay, no one's passive perception beats a 22. So
God
Ferret,
damn it.
you get away with that information.
I get away with it as long as Barris lets me get away with it, I guess.
I left.
Barris
I
is the
love how you
only one
called
that
it.
is.
Sorry.
What?
No,
What again?
I was like, so Barris, you're the only one here who knows that Ferret is not telling the whole truth. However, you can tell that Ferret's intentionally telling it this way. So everyone else knows, they're just learning this from Ferret that Cordelia is just a dark mage. Uh, what we said wanted from banished from Chaosity,
Enemy of Chaosity.
an enemy of Chaosity. Uh, so that's what you guys know.
Okay.
How would she be related to this trade mission?
I have no
Or
idea. Honestly, I
because
have no idea
you must
what
care about
what
this for some reason.
Ferret, give me an Arcana check to see if you know. I don't. Did you roll an? I don't remember if you rolled an Arcana check to see if you knew you were being like controlled.
actually I don't think I did.
If you wish to roll an Arcana check to see if you like know exactly that the fact that you were being essentially compelled or possessed, enchanted, essentially to speak Cordelia's name, you can.
Okay. Oof.
You know, I will say this: 11 will at least say, at least you know that some magic was involved. You do not know the origin, the nature, or any specifics. You just know that you were affected by something.
Okay. What was it you were asking, Crow?
That Cordelia must care about this diplomatic mission for some reason. Like,
That
otherwise she wouldn't be involved in this.
I mean, that is a reason unknown to me. I was not aware she was still active and was threatening Chaosity at this current moment in time.
Then why were you the one who, like, spoke her name? Like, I assume from your confusion that you were somehow compelled to do it.
Yes, that
Is
is
that
what
correct?
I felt. Yes, I don't know what happened to me, but that was not of my own free will.
Um, as hold on, I'm sorry. As you guys are sitting there talking, it's like, when you guys fled, the sun was setting, and it was pretty much dusk, like deep, like dusk. Right now, it's I'd say about midnight, maybe I would say 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. A full moon is high in the sky. You guys can see a little bit of light coming in through the trees. You see a very illuminated um, uh, field, and everyone give me a perception check.
Ooh.
Just Red Ferret Bears Crow Benj X. Yes. Okay. Ferret Crow and Numpty. You guys catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure slightly illuminated in the field. It's not moving. It is very human-like. Broad, like shoulder. You can make out the head. Looks like there's a hood on it. You can't see face. You can't see. It's very. It is silhouetted. It looks like roughly that there's like a person with a hood over it. You can definitely make out the human-like features of shoulders, arms, and the moment you all notice it, it almost evaporates in smoke. Someone's watching, but you don't know
What
who.
the hell was that?
Did
I
anyone else
really-
see that?
Yeah.
I really wanted to just say,
What was what?
Numpty wants a hug.
You already
In
cuddled
fact,
all the way up here with bread.
Yeah. You're not
How much
hugged
more
out.
hug do you need?
aren't they not the same people? Anyway,
Anyway.
can we just say Numpty was already kind of a few steps towards running at him?
So you were already a few steps running towards where the figure was.
Yeah, basically, immediate response. Numpty wants a hug.
Hey, I wanted to
Tries
throw
to
a dagger
rush
at
it.
their feet, but
Um,
that's something.
Dumpty, do you continue to run towards the location where where the figure was, or do you stop?
I think Numpty would actually follow through. Yeah.
Father, you get to where the shadowy figure was standing. There's no one there,
Any weird
but
smells or funky residue or
um,
a pine cone? I don't fucking know.
no, um, you get there. There is like in the grass, like a with a dagger stuck through it, a letter pinned to the ground.
Oh.
Okay.
The letter
Here we go.
has
Numpty just like eats the letter and we never find out.
the
No,
the
Numpty's
letter
got.
the letter has a seal on it. Um, the letter has a seal, like a wax seal on it. Uh, you may roll in a uh what would it be? Uh,
Look, you said May. I'm just outright gonna say I won't.
all right, you won't. Okay,
Okay.
well,
What Numpty's gonna do is he's going to pick up the knife and the letter, throw the letter over his shoulder, walk back with the knife, and be like, "I
okay,
found a knife."
Is that a good knife? Let me have a look at that.
Oh, frick's sake.
um,
Yeah, it was. It
I'm
was.
all for knives. What can I
do
say?
do
Yeah,
you hand him
there's
the
a.
knife?
Yeah, I hand him the knife, and I say, "Yeah, there was a letter stuck to it."
Okay. Um. Okay. Do you show the letter to the party? You hand Crow the knife. Do you show the letter to the party?
No,
No,
you
the
threw
letter's
it
still
over
on
his
the
No.
shoulder.
floor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I assume he
So-
goes, oh, there was a letter. So we go, what? What letter? Where?
No, I'm just
There.
looking at the knife.
Okay.
Numpty just points back over his shoulder where he just came from.
Okay, Ferret will wander
Oh, you
over
threw the
to where
letter
he
over
was.
your shoulder like you didn't care. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I
His
don't know.
words
For
stay
some
in the
reason,
knife.
I thought I interpret that as you literally just put it on your shoulder like a balancing act. Sorry.
I wouldn't put that past me, in fairness. So that was a fair.
Yeah. But yeah, you threw it over your shoulder. The letter's still out there. Crow, you looking at the knife, you recognize the craftsmanship of this knife
All
from the
right.
nest.
All right. Okay. I see. Oh, this like one of my brethren probably made this actually. That letter actually seems like I would want to read it. So I like run over to Ferret who's walking towards the
Mhm.
letter.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
you head over to the letter, Crow.
Yeah.
Who else is heading over to where the letter was, or was thrown over the shoulder of a senile old man?
Well, I mean, after the entire situation, the mysterious situation, he mentions there's a letter. Of course, I'm heading over towards the letter as well.
Okay. So Crow and Ferret, you both are going over to where the letter is. Anyone else?
Yeah, me.
Okay. So
Look, since I recognize this, and this is like the this is most likely a letter for me. This is the way we communicate, probably.
okay.
So where is Ferret is probably in front of me, like already like holding the letter or whatever.
So you guys get there. Who picks up the letter first? Put it that way.
I
I
assume
go in for it first.
Roll for chaos.
Roll for chaos.
Oh my god.
If you guys want to roll to see who picks it up first, just a D20 roll. Whoever gets the highest gets it first.
Okay, cool.
That's
Well,
how
we can
we're
do
gonna do
that.
that. Oh, Barris is
Not
going
me.
for it too. Definitely not Barris. All right,
Okay, cool.
Crow. As you pick up this letter, the wax seal that is on it has the seal of the nest, the thieves, essentially the thieves guild.
Yeah.
But the letter is addressed to Ferret.
Oh, then I like okay. Turns out I was wrong, and I won't open mail for anybody else. So here you go. And I handed a letter over to Ferret.
Okay.
I imagine you start to read the letter, or gonna look
Y-
over it.
yeah, I imagine I glance over the letter and read it and see
Yeah.
if it's anything that everyone else needs to know as well.
The letter uh makes like quick remarks and stuff like that. It's very short and very simple. It simply it says that uh things are going down in chaosity. Something is it there are things that are tipping. There's a boiling point in something bad happening in chaosity. Um, Nothing has happened yet, but things are looking dire. Um,
Well, shit.
it is not signed by any name. It's simply the letter R is at the bottom right hand corner of the letter.
Okay. I see. I imagine everyone's sort of looking to me as I'm sort of reading through this
Yeah.
letter.
Yeah.
So what does it say?
I read it out to everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, everyone like knows like basically there's nothing like there's no real details here. There's nothing simply saying that there's essentially an emergency in Chaosity, and
Can I take a closer look at the letter?
sure. Are you looking for something in particular?
I don't know. Maybe I recognize the writing or see something like that.
Um, give, give me a second. Double check. Uh, give me a investigation check if you want to try and discern. The
Here.
DC is 18. 21. Nice. You take a look at this letter. You recognize the handwriting? For sure. Like, you've seen this handwriting before. But you can't discern the name. Like, you know it's someone who's been at least close to the royal family in some regards. Just
Okay.
the
I
name
think
escapes you.
I think
I
we can trust whoever sent us that letter.
I assume I figured it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, are we saying Ferret recognizes this handwriting?
Ferret, if you wish to make an investigation roll, you may. The DC will be lower for you.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, a DC of no. You
Can
I
Numpty
can't read
DC
anymore.
of no.
you do not
It's just like, what are words?
can Numpty try for like what the fuck factor?
you know what? Sure. Numty, if you wish to roll to
Here
see
comes
if
the
you
20.
recognize it,
Oh, crap.
Investigation, is it?
Yeah.
investigation. You need a high DC of 20. Nope.
We're all just idiots.
Like um
Wow.
but
Okay, Numpty's just gonna
Ferret,
think it's someone named Jerry.
you really don't recognize this handwriting.
I mean, are we all peering at this? Shall I have a look and see if it's anyone that I have,
Sure.
I've maybe bumped into at my workshop or something?
Yeah.
I'll go. I'll do it. No, why not?
Investigation, did we say?
Yes.
Yeah, never mind.
No.
What
Crow,
about
do you
me?
want
My
Crow,
organization? Yeah, I was
do you
gonna
do you
say.
Crow, you don't need to roll for this one.
All right.
It is owl.
Ooh. Okay.
You
Cool, cool, cool.
know you don't know why he put R at the end of the letter.
But I recognize
But
the
you know
handwriting.
it is owl.
Hmm. Okay.
Um with that, what does everyone want to do?
Is this
Okay,
after
good
the long
question.
rest then?
I assume
Yeah.
so.
So there is an actual long rest. I do know Barris, you did I remember you told me you wanted to try and do your find familiar thing, right?
Yes.
Alright. Do you want to do that during your long rest before you take your long rest so you keep your spell slot?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do
So let me ask this, sir. And for the audience of make sure this is clear. Like normally, find familiar is like you choose what your familiar is, but I like to do with something a little different. Varys, what are the when you as you're casting the spell, what emotions are going through your mind? What thoughts, like deep thoughts, are going through your mind as you attempt to
that.
This
summon your familiar?
this feels like one of those like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon questionnaires
Ah,
to see which
yeah.
one you are.
It
I'm
does.
sorry.
That's so
Continue.
good.
but but what like, so what are the emotions that you feel as
Mm,
you attempt to summon your familiar, and what are you thinking of as well?
I I feel like curiosity, and I'm trying to summon something that would help me like discover secrets and gather some more knowledge.
Okay. Um, what kind of what kind of so what, and also what kind of emotions are you feeling as you are channeling this spell? Are you
Mm,
feeling content, scared, happy, sad, something,
calm, very
calm?
calm. Yes.
You channel your spell. It is a ritual spell, so it takes time for you to fully like get things prepared and start your the incantations, the prep work essentially. As you do so, you I imagine you're doing this either like on the outside of camp so you're not disturbed, or maybe right outside it or something like that. Um, as you do so and as you finish up your spell, um, you see or notice like something in the trees. Like you hear it at first, you don't see it. It from a branch on one end, you hear the leaves rustle as if something lands on it. Then something takes off and lands on another branch. Eventually, it comes into view a ghostly owl bearing the royal family sigil on in a with a like what is like basically a necklace kind of like just draped over the owl's like neck. It's very it's very ghostly, just like you are. It it fly it glides. Even though it's a ghost, it doesn't need to fly. It does so out of habit. It was an owl. It lands in front of you and peers up at you with uh like approving eyes. It's like a to be more specific, it's more like a barn owl. Like the deep black eyes that kind of like stare endlessly into someone's soul, like the inward face and stuff like that.
So creepy.
But it's I like you can tell upon looking at um this familiar you summoned is like it's ready to learn. It's ready to do what is necessary to in the pursuit of knowledge to find answers. Uh it looks at you and ready for acceptance if you wish as for you to accept it as your familiar.
I smile, I smirk, and gesture at my shoulder so that it can sit on it.
It makes a ghostly chirping noise. Russ shakes his body with what seems like absolute glee. It flaps its wings, gets and flies up and sits on your shoulder. Um, with that, everyone has done their long rest.
Yep.
Um, sun is rising. Where does everyone go? What does the party do from here on?
Good
So are we
question.
still sort of at this camp at the moment? Like, I don't know, maybe sat round the campfire, or at least have I sort of stomped off still, slightly unhappy, and I'm maybe sat around the campfire.
Um,
Mauling.
that is up to uh, mm, that's up to you. Uh, uh, let's see here. But yeah, no, I'd say yes. Or sorry. If you want to be like over at the campfire, like working on something, or everyone's around the campfire, that is completely up to you. Whether you're with the rest of the party or on your own doing whatever, I leave that up to you.
So whilst Barris has been acquiring a ghost owl, nice. I have, I've calmed down a bit from listening to what's been said here. It's obvious that the princess didn't really know that all of this was going to kick off, but I'm still um I'm still kind of reeling from the shock of that rug, and I've been kind of sat around the campfire, so trying to sort of distract myself um, and take my mind off things. But I've got my bag there, and I've been pulling bits and pieces out and tinkering around with them, and joining bits together. So over part of the long rest, and whilst this discussion's been happening, I've sort of crafted this. It's a bit difficult to describe what it looks like. I mean, well, it looks a bit like a contraption made by someone who's very good at engineering but lacks artistic finesse. I mean, it looks kind of sort of half like a cat, but the sizes and proportions are all wrong, and it almost looks a bit like a dog with sort of long ears, depending on quite what angle that you're looking at it. And so I've got a set of pliers and a screwdriver, and I'm sort of poking at it and muttering away to myself, furrowing my brow, and eventually just give it a little tap with a hammer, and then it sort of stands up of its own accord and kind of moves back and forth and rotates slightly.
Um, give ooh, give me a flat intelligence check. Unless you used like a bit of magic for this, you can give me Arcana if you wish instead. Oh,
Well,
You said that inspiration was use it or lose it.
yes.
I feel
Use
like
it.
this is a good time.
All right.
already? Let's go.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Let me try that again.
Yep. Roll it again and 19. It works absolutely fine. When you gave it a little tap, it sputters to life, and it, like, like you said, a bit unnatural, but it moves. It functions. Um,
Ugly but functional.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Do,
Can
do I
I?
need to explain this further for
Oh,
anyone else's benefit, or will that kind of become apparent as we go through things?
I think you. Uh, if you wish to
Unless
explain,
someone
if
wants to sit down at the campfire and to sort of check if
I
I'm
was
okay and say, hey, what are you working on there?
I was about to come over and have a little chat with you.
Okay.
go on.
Ferret, she walks over to the campfire. She sits down, sort of next to Bread. There's a bit of an awkward silence as Bread's, sort of just
I look across at you and then look back down and carry on tinkering.
yeah. And he's just like looking at whatever the frick he's made down there. And Ferret's just awkwardly sat there. She eventually speaks. And she's like, "Hey, look, I know what you saw was upsetting. Um, and I honestly had no idea that we were going to such a place yesterday. I can only apologize for that, and I want you to know that I will do everything in my power once we are back to make sure that the Kingdom of Wrath never do anything like that again to your brethren."
I know it wasn't your
Excuse
fault.
me, they're called brethren.
We're having a moment, Crap.
I'm sorry.
Again. I know it. I know it's not your fault. I believe what you said earlier. You didn't know any of this was going to happen, but it it brought back a memory of something a while ago, and yeah, I'm sorry for losing control a bit, but yeah, 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 it was not something I was ready to see at that point, but I know you didn't plan for any of this.
I see that.
Hmm.
Hopefully, we can move past this.
I feel like we're all in the same situation, really, aren't we? I didn't want to be in. I certainly didn't want to be in this situation. I expect you didn't. Well, none of us did.
No, this was a simple trade mission, or so I thought. But here we are.
Numpty agrees.
I sort of gesture my my screwdriver at the thing in front of me and say, what do you think?
Oh, nice. What is it?
Well, it's kind of a sort of an automaton, you might call it. It can think for itself to a limited degree, but it's kind of more of sort of a kind of a servanty kind of tool. I can ask it to go and do things for me. So I sort of gesture, I sort of point at the other side of the campfire, and it trots over there. I gesture at a nearby stick. It sort of picks it up and carries it around. And yeah. So it's like you can get it to do things, and I just thought an extra pair of hands, or well, an extra mouth, I suppose, would be might be useful. It was just a bit of therapy, really, just building something. It's yeah, it's a way to take your mind off things.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it'll come in useful. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, like I say, I thought an extra pair of pair of eyes and things might be useful.
who had the letter last? Was it you, Crow?
I believe it was Barris.
No, it was you, Crow, right?
No, it was
You
you,
looked at it
Crow, because
last.
yeah, you
Yeah.
looked at it last. So
Oh yeah, true.
yeah, so you have the letter still. You overnight again, kind of just like you didn't really do much with it. Didn't put it away into a pack or something. You kind of just like tossed it to the side, next to you, wherever you were sleeping. I imagine like you're still like waking up in the morning and stuff like that. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, as you do so, you're kind of like waking up and stuff like that. You see the letter. Like you see, you catch a glimpse of the letter. You see, um, the wax seal start to like melt and rearrange itself. Uh, Again, that seal is the like the thieves guild seal, or for your case more specifically, the nest.
Yeah.
Um, it organizes itself almost. It moves itself and forms a small sentence, and it says, uh, "Come to the nest."
All right.
Um, or uh, and as it come as it says, "Come to the nest," and then it says, "All."
Okay.
Um, there's only so like because there's only so much wax. It can't really say or a full length sentences or anything of that nature. So, but you can gather that means to bring everyone.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
and as like you see it, it slowly goes back and reforms the wax seal.
okay. I see. Um, fellas,
Yeah.
I think we've been instructed to go to my place that I would call home. From this letter as well. We're probably gonna deal with the crisis first, which is where we're gonna be headed next, which is back to Chaosity. But we should definitely like, whenever we got time, or where you feel like maybe even before, if it's clear that we have to, we can take a look and see what they want from us. Because I don't even know what this could mean, possibly.
Are you saying the letter just told you to go there now?
It was some weird magic going on with the seal, yeah.
Can we trust it? I mean, after all we've been through so far,
I
it's right to
mean,
be cautious, right?
I recognize that dagger. I trust this. It's up to you to trust me.
Numpty will get up and walk to Crow, spits in his hand, and goes like, "Sure," and extends his hand to shake.
I like look very grossed out,
Do you
and
want to
like I
describe the
kind of
hand to him?
I cover my hand with my sleeve and I shake his hand.
Ew.
It's even better because of why I ran through with Goat.
Sorry.
Were you muted laughing this whole time?
No, I was just trying to hold it together. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Um, oh gosh. All right, but so, whew, so what is the party's decision? Where does the party go?
well, I agree. We must head back to Chaosity, one
Okay,
way or another.
all
Yes.
right.
And I
So
relay the information of where we were at, most likely currently, like west from where we started, close
yeah,
to the coastal city.
right, so you give like a rough like location of where you guys are, where thing where, ooh, words are hard.
There's no hope for us if our DM can't words.
Right? Anyway, no.
Just
Yeah, if
means more
only
chaos.
it
You
was
guys,
just Ferret that couldn't words. It was fine.
yeah, no. So you guys are little recap. You guys are on a completely different continent, and you are separated from the Kingdom of Ferret by a decent sized body of water. Um, there are several options to go about. You uh could head west to a smaller town. Uh, and the reason I'm telling this is Crow, you got a really high roll in like knowing where things were, where you are relatively. So if you head west, you will reach Montanelli, which is the closest city to uh between the both shores essentially. Um, you they're not a massive port city or any of that nature, so they might not have any big boats, but maybe something small enough for you guys to go that way. That you could go back the way that would probably be your fastest option. The slower option would be to get to a much further city around the mountains southward to reach an actual port city to see if you can seek a safer. It is a longer yet safer route for as far as crossing the ocean. Um, to the city of uh uh Cesarol. I'm sorry, S- mm, says Quill, says Quill. Um, so you basically have two options. That you go to the safer route as far as crossing the ocean, but would also put you guys in like you don't know the state of what the guards are in right now. You don't know the state of stuff. So you don't know if you're being hunted. You don't know if you're being looked for. Things you don't know what's going on. It's a longer route to get there, but it says the safer route to get to Chaosity over the ocean. Heading to Montranelli will is a shorter route, but a more dangerous one to cross the ocean.
Do we know
Interesting.
how the the country we are currently in conveys messages on longer distance? Like, can
Oh,
they communicate between cities?
good question.
Um, Give me an insight check.
Mm,
You know that like it's only been a day. Currently, it's only been a day. So the likelihood of them following the current roads uh that you know of from studying like maps and stuff of that nature um would take at least a few days. So if you left now, you may get ahead of like any news thing if they were to set out like essentially wanted posters or uh uh, anything that would like hinder you. If you were to set out now, it would be less likely of them like trying to capture you.
Okay,
mm.
then surely we need to do that. I'd say the quickest route is perhaps the best situation.
Yeah, I was tending towards the safe route. Um, but definitely since it's your place, your decision is final in my opinion.
I mean, I'm just thinking that if they do send out messages, we could be in a bad situation in a town that we don't know.
Yeah, let's take the shorter route probably.
I mean, how did Crow feel? Sort of how urgent did you feel that the suggestion to return was? Do you think that we could take our time, or is it get here now?
Go ahead.
Uh,
Oh.
you let's see here. You for you, Crow, you feel like the message to get to the nest has something to do with the um the crisis going on in Chaosity.
From what I can assume, that is going to happen. I have no idea what's actually happening in Chaosity, but I assume that we can get the most reliable and best information from the nest. So, um, maybe my friends like to be cryptic. Maybe it's not as much of a chaos like physically, but it can be in danger like through politics or whatever. So I think it's the safest to go to my guild first and see what information we can gather there.
So you think do we need to get there as quickly as possible?
That seems, yeah.
I
That
mean,
seems like the best course of action.
if Chaosity is under threat by something, then it is perhaps best for us to return as quickly as possible.
Yes. Well, it is in Chaosity, so
Yeah. Okay.
So
Has Numpty just noticed something?
Apparently so.
He's looking for a literal nest in relation to this conversation.
Of course he
Hey,
is.
hey guys, it's okay. I found it. It's in this tree.
so the safest route going south or the faster route going west?
faster.
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 All right. I need a mm, either okay, so it's going to be another group check. You guys can choose athletics, nature, or survival to make your way out of the forest and through the plains and everything to essentially get to Montanelli. I need at least 3 of you to pass the check.
Oh, this like the kind of travel check again.
Essentially, basically, if you want to get there on time and not have any delays, um,
So what were the options for rolling again?
athletics, nature, or survival.
Wow.
So only 2 of you pass.
Oof.
If I
So
use the inspiration,
you want to
Oh.
Barris, you want to use your inspiration?
yeah.
Okay, go for it. Reroll your nature check. All right, 3 of you pass. So there are
Good
no
save.
delays.
Thank goodness.
You guys get through the forest, the plains, through rivers, things of that nature. And I gotta roll something real quick before you get to Montreal.
Oh. Oh no. Sounds sinister.
I shall talk everybody's ear off about how nice that nest I found was.
Oh, of course.
What did you take
You
with you?
guys,
You can tell your pigeon friends about it.
Who?
as you guys pass, so
I wonder if they're still
no,
in that hotel room.
I wonder. I bet the mayor's gonna be really upset by that. Oh well, not our problem anymore.
Just shush. You're gonna confuse chat.
um, but you guys, uh, you guys get to Montreal without too much problem, without too many problems. There was a point like it takes a few days to get there. Um, maybe about 3, 4 days ish. But at least like on your like third day, towards the end of your travels, like you got to a point where where you could see the coast, you could see the ocean, see the water, the hills, would be the water to your left, the rolling hills to your right. Um, mm, uh, um, uh, um, and you could hear wailing to your right, though nothing seemed to like bother you too much, and you guys got through just fine. You guys arrive in Montreal uh without, like I said, without too much problem. You guys get there, well, let's see, you guys get there, and they do have smaller boats. Nothing like the large boat that you guys uh or nothing like the royal boat that you guys took all the way to Prosco on the far east side of the island. Um but they really don't pay no mind. The word definitely hasn't gotten here yet. Uh um about what has happened in the capital city. Uh
Nice.
how do
That's
you
what we
guys
wanted.
yeah, how do you guys procure a boat?
Oh. Ooh.
Well, Ferret, I assume you have some connections that you can procure transportation, right? Or ask people at the harbor.
I assume so, yes. I mean, everyone should know who I am, so.
Ferret storms up to the nearest boat owner and says, "Don't you know who I am?"
That's not how we do things.
Well, unfortunately, like I will say this, Ferret, as you look around, a lot of people kind of like give you a look at your clothes, and just kind of look confused, like one of the like a couple, and they're like sitting on their front porch, or like the woman sweeping uh the deck of her home, kind of like looks at you confused, looks at her husband, kind of looks back at you and kind of like shrugs it. They don't seem to pay any mind to who you are. They might not know who you are.
Okay,
This is a
cool.
foreign country after all,
Uh,
in a smaller town at that.
no, that's
Let's
fair enough.
just
Not
let's
a thing
just
I
buy
expected
a
to
boat.
say. Oh, sorry, go on.
Let's just buy some small boat. We have enough money.
Do
Uh,
we?
Yeah.
Not a thing I was expecting to say, but hey, Ferret, what are you wearing? As in,
Um,
are you in princess dress, or when we had that rest, have you sort of got into something a bit more appropriate for traveling? As in, because this might impact how people respond to you.
Good, good point. I assume still in princess dress.
Hmm. Well, the question still remains:
Well,
how do
yeah.
you guys procure a boat?
Should we find out how much hiring a boat might cost?
Uh, Absolutely.
Sure.
There, there's like a small little uh dock area. Seems like there's like there's a few fishing boats. Nothing too grand. Um, you imagine you'd ask uh I guess because there's a few people there kind of like getting their nets ready and things of that nature, kind of just like doing whatever. And you guys ask how much it would cost to ferry you across the ocean the uh to the Kingdom of Ferret. A lot of them kind of just give you like a wide berth, but one particular gentleman, very rough, uh, ru- uh, let's see, is a very like rough individual. Um, let's see here. Let's see. Sorry, give me a second. Like a very rough looking person. Like he looks like he's seen his like fair share of like uh sea life, like storms, things of that nature. Very gruff individual, very tough individual. Um, he looks at you, Ferret, kind of just like gives you a weird look. Like, why is someone wearing something so fancy clothes out into the essentially the boonies? And kind of like looks over the rest of the party. Uh, very like a well dressed man bear or bear man. Um, a very a ghost nonetheless, uh, and a very shady, roguish figure. And he looks at you, Numpty.
Oh
Uh,
no.
he goes,
I love
he
that immediate response.
he he looks at you. He gives you like just gives like a little squinting look.
I squint back.
He slowly raises his hand as if he wants to shake your hand, but he's just sitting there seeing what you do.
Numpty will kind of just blink, look down at his hand, and somewhat cautiously go to shake it, then kind of look a little suspiciously at him, but
No
takes his time.
spitting this time.
Oh, thank God.
There might
Yeah.
still be grass on it. I don't know.
Yeah. You grasp his hand. He grasps back. He looks at you. He goes, "You've seen things. You have those eyes."
Crazy eyes, am I right?
Yeah.
He
At this point, as he says that, Numpty's face kind of goes a bit more sorrowful, as if like a little bit uh lucid for a moment, and then he just blinks and kind of shakes his head. It's like, I've seen loads of things. I've seen nests. I've seen grass. Seen blah, 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 blah. And he starts rattling off a bunch of random
um
shite.
the
Noodles.
the fisherman the grizzled fisherman, he lets out a bellowing laugh. He looks at you, goes, "I like you. I like you."
I like you too, Mom.
He lets out
Oh, God.
another bellowing laugh. He goes, "Y'all need some help getting over to the Kingdom of Ferret. I can help. Small cost. No one here wants to go to another nation's waters. So you seem like you need it." And when he looks at you, Ferret, specifically when he says you,
Oh.
um, he goes, "I'll help. A few gold. I'll take you there."
How about this fancy bottle of wine? No.
Um, can I propose something here?
Go ahead.
So this guy is like a sort of an old grizzled fisherman kind of
Yeah,
guy.
like he's
So
a veteran fisherman. He's seen his fair share of like storms, monsoons, just
Oi, that's my mom you're talking about.
sea creatures.
whilst this conversation's been happening, I've been slightly distractedly kind of staring at his boat and kind of making thoughtful noises. and I sort of gesture over to it and say, "Yeah, this is a it's a nice little vessel you've got here. Although, I mean, you must find it. I mean, it must be quite limiting on the size of catch you can get aboard easily. I mean, I wonder with a few modifications, I could probably rig up some sort of like a hoist kind of contraption for you. I reckon we could probably get you bringing in maybe 50% greater catch each time you go out. I mean, I wonder if we could come to a little arrangement.
Mm.
Maybe I could modify the boat for you. You know, think of it. You know,
he puts his hand up. He goes, "I appreciate the offer, my friend, but I'm not fishing for a city. I'm fishing for my family in the small village here. Though
Shut down.
he goes, with all due respect, I don't need to catch more than what I need.
You could still probably make the boat go more zoom zoom.
It'd be more efficient at catching what you
Yeah.
need.
Well,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, wouldn't you like to spend more time with your family rather than having to spend all of these hours out at sea? Do you have kids? You know, you wouldn't want to miss
Uh,
them growing up.
he
We
go, he goes. I have kids, but they've all grown up and moved on. They left the home already. No worries, friend. Though, if your offer still stands in the future, I may take you up on it in some fashion.
sure if our paths cross again, yeah.
Consider
I always like
consider
a
this
new project.
consider me paying forward. You owing me a favor after I deliver you to the kingdom of Ferret.
I think that I'm comfortable with that. How about you, Princess?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. Um, you guys. He goes. Fair enough. My name's Jax. Be glad to help you.
Numpty's eyes start to tear up, and he goes to hug your man. It's like,
Uh,
thank you, Mom.
he he lets out a light chuckle, and uh this guy is probably about 6 inches taller than you, and he embraces you. He goes, "No worry, friend. I'm glad to help
Oh.
another uh troubled soul." Um, he goes, "All right, get in the boat. We're leaving immediately."
Oh god.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Let's
We're
all
going
hop in,
now? Okay.
guys. Let's go.
you guys you guys hop in. It's let's see, where's my dice? It is it's some choppy waters all the way through. It takes about but good winds. It's good winds nonetheless all the way to uh the shores. So it doesn't take more than maybe half a day,
Any
maybe a
fishies to
quarter of
talk
a
to?
day to get to the shores of
Did you have some time to talk?
oh yeah, there's some
Oh.
time to talk.
Any
Numpty, like that
fishies?
old man was saying a bunch of stuff about you. Like, do you want to talk about it?
How about what?
About the stuff the old man said.
Saying old man, he is right in this boat with us. It's
It's out
not
of
very
his.
big. This is a
I'm
very small
whispering it.
boat.
I'm whispering it to Numpty.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm just like looking at you weirdly.
Why are we whispering? He says out loud.
Never mind. I tried.
Eh,
Yeah,
Is it
I feel like maybe Numpty and I kind of have a bit of a connection going. I sort of like give his shoulder a squeeze and like you okay?
Looking for fishies. And he's just kind of sort of leaning overboard to like
um
brush
the
his hand through the
I
water.
I sort of
the
nod and sort of pat him on the shoulder
yeah.
gently.
Careful, you'll knock him in.
Gently, gently.
Yeah. Um, you guys get to the shore, um, the shores of I'm sorry, the shores of the kingdom. You guys, he goes, I can't take you to a port city. I'm not registered to be in international waters, but I can drop you here. He and uh, he lets you off on a little inlet and stuff like that. This is like now that you're like familiar shores, this is relatively close. You are about a half day's like if you were to trek pretty like quickly, you could make it to Chaosity in half a day. Um, but but Jax looks at you, Numpty, and goes, "You take care, friend. If you're ever back over in Wrath, find me
Oh, are we
gladly."
playing hide and seek? I like games. And he starts like kind of clapping his hands excitedly like a child.
Um, Jax lets out he laughs to himself. He goes, "You find me whenever you're back in Wrath. We can talk, catch up like friends."
Okay.
um, he goes, uh, and he looks at you, Ferret. He goes, "Young lady,
Yes?
whatever it is need to take care of, be careful. All of you have troubled looks. It's written all over your faces."
Thank you. Don't worry.
Um,
We'll be careful. I'll take care of them all.
um, he goes, "Good." Uh, then he he raises his anchor, and drops
Just before
sails, and
he
he's
sets off, can I sort of shake hands with him and sort of, make some sort of knowing gesture? I owe you. I'll pay you back. With
he looks at you, goes, "I look forward to it."
Question: did you spit on your hand before?
that's not my scene.
Okay.
um, but he goes, like he gives you a nod and goes, "No worries. Pay it forward whenever you can. You guys really needed the help. I'm glad to help."
Thank you for your help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He
Thank you.
and then he takes off and stuff like that. Now, do you guys um make the half day journey to Chaosity, or do you guys rest beforehand?
Let's just fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, would we
Yeah.
have had a rest on the voyage if it's taken half a day to get here? There can't have been that much to do.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's fair enough. Remember
Makes
there's
sense.
also very choppy waters, so it probably wouldn't be a good rest, but it'd still be a rest nonetheless. Um,
I think we'll appreciate being able to walk on land.
Yeah.
yeah,
Instead of
fair enough.
walking on water just to be
Yeah,
with you.
you will.
Banana jacks. Do, 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 do.
Oh god.
Okay. Oh my god. All right. So, all right. So you guys just book it straight to Chaosity.
Yep.
Are we gonna, when we get a bit closer, are we gonna stealth it up, or a recce,
Oh,
or are we just
I
gonna
mean
storm straight in? I mean,
that
I'm thinking maybe caution.
I mean, we
that's a very good
can look
question.
at the city from a distance and see if we notice anything while we're approaching, right?
Is
So
there
Yeah.
maybe a
And
nearby hill that we can approach from, so we've got kind of a
Ooh,
good view of what's going on? Maybe somewhere we could see over the city walls.
good
I
shout.
can send my owl a bit ahead.
you remember Chaosity is an essentially an underground city
All right.
with an
Yes, that's a
outer
good point.
with
Mm.
in this universe, it has an outer city as well. Um, well, with a lot of like more common folk on the outer city, farms and more like industrial shops and things of that nature. Kind of like like where you bred, your shop was in the outer city of Chaosity, because yeah, you dealt with more unconventional wares, things like where people or outside people of Chaosity usually set up shop outside the main city. There are uh there is a main okay, so the two main entrances and exits to the city uh are on the east and the west. You guys are closest to the east entrance. There is a minor entrance to the south, closer to where the farms are for the city.
A question.
Yes.
Am I aware of my secret passage in and out of Chaosity?
Yes.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, your secret passage leads directly to the castle, correct?
Not quite. It was close to the castle, but not.
Oh, to the castle. That's right.
Yeah.
Forgive me for not remembering.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I said where the secret passage was, just that there was one.
Yeah, I know. I know
but
you've
yeah.
mentioned it before. But yeah, the secret passage. You are aware of that. Uh, let's see here. The Okay, so for you, Crow, the nest is in the outer city,
All right.
but there are hubs on like there are hubs in the inner city as well.
All right. Um,
And they are all connected via tunnels and things of that nature too. If
do you tell us about the passageway as like a suggestion of where to go, Ferret?
Yeah, I imagine I'd sort of suggest that perhaps we sort of stay undercover a bit in the outer city, ask a few questions, see if anyone's heard of anything going on, and then perhaps we take the secret tunnel into Chaosity. Just
There
so
is
we're
like
not walking through the front door if anything
there's
is
a
going on.
nest hub in the outer city that we can pass by before we take your tunnel. Just so we can gather more information there, and even like ask other locals as well if you want.
That sounds like a good
Um,
idea.
yeah.
all right,
Are we
so
going? Are we going past any of our places? Because I mean, I know I have a workshop, and Numpty lives in the outer city. Are we maybe going to pass our neighbours and people we might know / trust to?
there's a potential for that, but unless like you guys lived here for majority of your lives, and well, except for Numpty, you're really just a traveler. That
Yeah, I don't
but you've
really
lived
live
in
anywhere.
but I'd say you lived in or so you had a little hut in Chaosity. I imagine you lived long enough to know at least some of the layout there.
Yeah, that makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
So
Uh,
unless like you make a like you can very well say I want to like avoid my like for you Brett is like I want to avoid my shop at all costs or whatever. You guys know the back alleys, the roads, stuff like that. Where you can kind of just avoid your neighbors and avoid being recognized if need be. Um uh
Speaking of that, does anyone have anything that I could perhaps cover my head with? Because princess right here, walking through the outer city of Chaosity, that's gonna be
um
real obvious.
At this point,
Just
Numpty starts taking off his robe.
Oh dear.
No, that's not what I wanted.
I've probably got some, I don't know, a bit of material for crafting purposes in my bag that you could maybe just sort of put over your head as a hood. Nothing fancy,
give
but
me give me a general luck check, just a d20, the higher the better.
Who's doing that?
Bread in yours for bread for his supplies and stuff like that. See what he has. This general luck check. 9. I'll say that'll do it. That's a you have general cloth, nothing like clothes wise, nothing that's like processed. But yeah, you'll have some like general cloth.
You have a tarp.
Yeah, just something we can improvise with. Sorry, I think one of my cans of oil might have leaked on it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Oh,
Just don't
lovely.
walk too close to any fire. It'll be okay.
Thanks.
I
It'll
have a
do.
question. Is the outer city kind of like partially underground as well?
Um, there's like a cliffside hanging over the outer city. Um, but
I imagine it would be sticking to like the kind of cliff walls or like the outskirts.
pretty much.
All right. Yeah, Numpty will shuffle along.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Where do we plan
Alright.
to go first? Are we?
All right. So yeah, what is the plan first? Because this all depends on you guys at this point.
Are we gonna ask around, or are we gonna head straight to the nest?
Can we just sort of scope out what people are looking like? If there's any sort of kind of vibe we're getting off people, like how
All right. Yeah.
we've just seen some people who've been sort of hypnotized or something like that, but
Give
maybe
me
nothing that obvious. But is it just does
anyone
something
that
feel
wants
wrong?
anyone wants to can give me a perception check.
All right. Can Numpty kind of
Uh,
go up for this?
you can. You know what? Yes, you can.
Okay.
Give me a. You know what? You can give me a perception check with an advantage, and then.
All right.
So what we got? 19, 15, 7.
So on my notes here, I have advantage for things involving sight due to animal senses. Would that sort of count if I'm looking
You
around
do,
trying to
yes. You
see if
didn't.
things
You
are weird?
also roll with advantage, sir.
Okay. Well, that made a difference.
All right, so
An extra one.
Numpty Crow. All right, so Numpty Crow and Ferret. You see nothing really out of the ordinary. Nothing really kind of like nothing really stands out to you guys as far as being like because Red, you said or you had like I guess you had mentioned like people like being like mind controlled or anything nature. It seems like a regular like city folk. There's a lot of like gossip being slung around. Numpty and Ferret, you guys rolled high enough with your perception check. I'll even say that a lot of what you guys are hearing is it's like the royal family seems like uneasy right now. Like something's going on, and it's nothing small. Something's but they don't they're not like the rumors are flying like different reasons here and there. Nothing like nothing you can pick out that like is like 100% what is going on. Just but everyone is like the rumors you're hearing is something's going on within the royal family, and they um they need to like no one knows what's going on. Crow, you don't get a lot of that information. Though you kind of notice like people are gossiping. The rest of you, Bread, Barris, you guys don't really see too like you don't hear or see too much out of the ordinary. Seems just like a regular normal day to you guys.
All right.
Okay.
I suggest that we, unless you want to talk to people specifically, that we actually do head over to the nest now.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay, so just keep our heads down,
Yep.
literally in your case,
Yeah.
Ferret, and
Yeah, literally.
head over that way.
All right, you guys. So you guys are now heading to the nest, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
All right.
I do want to know quickly how is the view from up?
Oh, it's fantastic. The view is absolutely fantastic. It's gorgeous. No, not many people get to see the city from where you are. Um, you guys, okay, so you guys start heading to um one of the secret entrances, essentially, for what is Chaosity's Thieves Guild, or the Nest, as they call it. Um, Crow, you leading the party here and everything of that nature. So there's no roles involved here. You guys like get in and or without being seen. You're like Crow. You've always been professional about this, so you run. You've done this 1,000 times at least already. Um, but you guys again eventually, after a bit of walking through some of the underground tunnels, uh, linking the hubs to each other, you come to one of the like largest rooms you guys have been in so far since being back in Chaosity. It's relatively dark, only lit by torchlight. Um, Tables, bookshelves, things of that nature. It looks almost like an abandoned workshop, and there are other rooms leading off of this. Um, and there's currently no one here. Um, at least as far as you can tell.
Oh, great. Okay, so we've wandered into an abandoned
It appears
room.
abandoned, but there's there's there are like daggers, swords, a bunch of bookshelves. It's all clean and neat. It's just it appeared abandoned. Like there's even a freshly it looks like a freshly lit fire, like fireplace, kind of just sitting there. Like like whoever was here literally just left or just
That,
disappeared.
that's strange. They must have been here by now. Is there anything I like out of the ordinary that I noticed?
Give me a perception check.
Where the
I mean, I guess we're probably all sort of looking around
Yeah.
at this point.
Anyone in here can make a perception check if you wish.
Ooh, cool.
I mean, again, with this being a visual thing, I assume my
Yes,
animal senses
visual.
would have advantage.
So much
Ooh,
yellow popping up.
Wow.
Barris.
And the
Oh,
bread.
oh God.
Oh my god. Okay.
So you guys kind of like start wandering around, looking around the room and things of that nature. Um, Numpty, you don't notice anything. The only people who notice something is Ferret, Bread, and Barris. Hold on. What did everyone? Okay. Oh wow, Bread rolled a natural 20. Barris rolled a natural
Oh
20,
yes.
and
Yep.
Ferret got a 19. Okay, fantastic.
We
Yeah,
notice everything.
like
You
that's
okay?
my
So
green.
Ferret, let's start with you, Ferret. You don't notice anything until he is there. Like you didn't hear footsteps, you didn't see him until he was just there. Bread, Barris, you guys heard the footsteps, you just didn't see him. Crow,
Yeah.
immediately as you guys like as you approach like a table with like daggers, the very same daggers that you hold from the letter that you had a few days ago. Um, one of those daggers is now against your neck with a figure standing behind you.
Oh shit.
Oh, whoa, easy, easy. What's happening here?
He goes, he goes, this figure says, "You know better than this."
I know. I figured you would pull something like this.
The figure takes away his dagger, he sheathes it in behind his cloak, stuff like that. Ferret, you recognize that voice.
Oh.
Crow, this is Owl, by the way.
Yeah.
So this is Owl.
Who?
Uh,
who,
Exactly.
who is this?
God damn it. Um, Ferret,
The
you like
map.
so yeah, you recognize. You don't see his face. No one sees his face. He has a hood up, but Ferret, you recognize the voice from somewhere. You know where you've heard this voice before. Um, but the figure goes, "Y'all took quite a bit of time getting here."
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're pretty far away.
Yeah, it's not like we could
We took
just
the fast route. Like, there's
run
nothing
here.
much more we could have done here. Yeah.
Understandable. Come. And then he quickly turns and starts walking down a hall into another down a hallway and into another room. Uh, uh, he doesn't give you guys a chance to speak. He just starts walking and going into a room.
You should follow him quickly. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
You all follow him into the room. He's sitting at a table, and he's just sitting there going and waiting for everyone to kind of pile into the room and kind of just waiting for on you guys.
How big is the room?
It's a decent size. I'd say it's like a decent sized dining room. Probably sit and maybe
Alright, as long as we're not cramped.
yeah, no, it's not cramped. You could probably sit maybe 10, 12 people in there. Um
Hmm.
it's just a generalized dining room with a little bit of a kitchen attached to it. It kind of just some place where people can come and eat. Really, it's more of looks like a little public place.
How many exits?
The only exit is the door you guys came in
Interesting.
from.
Okay.
He's eh, he's sitting in so he's sitting right currently. He's sitting at the end of the table, his fingers crossed, just hood still up. You can't see his face. Um, he goes, "I imagine you all have questions."
Definitely.
Then
No.
ask.
No? Did you say?
He said no.
I have
But
no questions.
Okay,
I assume
that's
you.
cool.
it's
I
like
assume you summoned us here for a reason. Like, I can't imagine. It must be really important if you decided to show up in person. And you asked me to bring them here, of all things.
yes. He goes. He leans forward, fingers still crossed, kind of covering where his chin would be, stuff like that, covering his mouth. He goes, "Yes."
Then spill
Great.
He
it.
look.
Okay.
He looks. He turns his you imagine he look. You can feel his eyes looking at you, Ferret, though you cannot see his eyes. Um,
Oof.
he goes, "Cordelia made an appearance.
Oh. Okay. That's awkward.
There's she." He lets out a very deep sigh. He goes, he or she had evidence of what happened in uh, Wrath. He, it,
Wait, what do
she,
you
sh-
mean? Evidence.
she, the fighting in the manor. She had some bell, something keeping tabs on you guys. Uh, She, though she made an appearance, not physically, before the king, and showed him what was happening, where you guys fought, how you guys injured and ran.
I swallow pointedly and adjust my collar.
Numpty
That's
puts
a
his
bit
hand
awkward.
up.
Oh. He just puts his hand up. Just
Um,
waving his hand around. Like,
um,
His hand is up and he's waiting patiently.
he goes. He looks over at you. Numpty goes, "What is it?"
Who's Cordelia?
He looks at you. The gentleman looks at you. Ferret goes, "You have you not told them?"
I just kind of face palm and then I reply back that I have informed them that she is an enemy of Chaosity.
Oh,
He
all right then.
he got the gentleman goes, "Ah, I suppose she is on official terms."
Don't go making me seem suspicious.
I
No,
sort
that's
of look
again.
back and forth between the two of them, and are we miss? Am I missing something here?
Uh, he looks at were you saying that out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. He
Oh,
goes, "Nothing really. A lot of history that would be rather forgotten." Um, he go he looks
This
at
history might be relevant to us, though.
this isn't what we need to know right now. What's going on in the city?
a lot of unrest. People are, well, the commoners, the people are worried about the royal family. Your father has, wouldn't say lost his mind, but he is besides himself. He's quite honestly furious. I
Furious at us or just in
Well,
general?
yeah, that's a good
I
question. I assume it does.
unfortunately I don't know that information. I would agree with that assumption though.
Yeah, so I would assume that
Given
this
given the
Cordelia
fact,
has shown it out of context.
yes, something something is at foot here. Something is she she's playing a bigger game. We don't know what she wants, but the fact that the evidence that was shown against you is the main concern right now, because what happened may lead to war.
Could
Oh,
you
wonderful.
arrange a meeting with the king for us?
Really?
I
You want to go in front of him?
Yes. Uh,
Did
We
you not
can
hear the part
easily
where he lost his mind? Almost?
we can easily clear the situation.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
um I don't
That-
know.
It's
Last I
all a
heard, there's
misunderstanding, so we can clear it up and we'll have him on our side again.
Yeah, I mean, it
I
sounds like we've been set up. You know, this Cordelia, whoever she is, she knew we were going there. She made all of this happen, and then got this evidence of it. I mean, we've been set up. I mean,
Yes,
is the
we've been
king's meant to be
clearly
reasonable,
set
isn't
up.
okay.
he'd
Well,
listen to us.
what evidence do we have on the contrary? She has this evidence. What evidence do we have?
I mean, his
Well, we could
father
Well,
and
Well,
his
you.
investigate that.
Why would
daughter's
someone?
lord.
Would the royal
Lord.
family believe her over you?
well,
Exactly.
they could be under the same thing that the other kingdom was of the kingdom of Wrath was
Exactly.
in, right?
Don't forget this Cordelia. She's a powerful mage.
But would he believe her over his own daughter?
I know my father, and if something threatens the kingdom, even if it is me, he will do whatever he needs
Yeah,
to protect the kingdom.
yeah, he has a history of banishing his daughters.
Did you have to say that?
Daughters.
I glare at Barris.
Did we pick up on that, or was that
Numpty
just
puts
mustered
his
under his
hands up.
breath?
That sounds like a roll situation.
You
owl.
you wish it would be a real situation, wouldn't you?
Hands
Yes,
is up. Waiting
please.
The gentleman owl looks at you, Ferret, and goes, "So you didn't tell them that?"
I didn't think it was necessary.
You should tell them now. It would help shed light on the situation a little bit.
Frick's sake.
But
well, that secret didn't last very long, did it? Okay, fair enough. You see, I am not the only daughter of Chaosity. I'm not the only princess here. A long time ago, there was indeed another, my sister. That is the Cordelia you hear of.
That explains the connection to our diplomatic mission
You have a
and you
sister?
speaking your name.
Yes, Numpty, I have a sister. Well,
Congratulations! Numpty goes up to hug her under the impression that she literally just got a sister.
thanks, Numpty. I appreciate the positivity.
What positivity?
Oh, okay. Or not. But yes, that would explain why my father would perhaps. It could be anyone's guess as to which of us he would trust.
That is a precarious situation.
yes. Owl leans back in his chair. He goes, "Look, I know it is urgent. And these matters need to be resolved. But it does no good to act upon this stuff while you guys are, I would say, tired. You guys have been traveling for some time, and I imagine getting here was no easy feat.
Certainly wasn't.
We have extra beds for everyone here, if you so wish to rest.
Where?
While where?
Where's the beds?
Down the hall on the left. A lot of
Numpty goes down the hall.
he's just gone.
No
He's
hesitation.
gone.
Don't mind him. He does that sometimes.
He shouldn't roam on it by himself here, right?
When in the nest, do as the crow does.
Yeah, and not roam around you.
No, I just meant, oh, there's a bed. I'm going to have a nap.
Numpty's just gonna shuffle around, casual like.
Is Crow gonna try and stop him?
I am gonna try and stop him.
Okay.
So okay, so you go off after Numty. We'll come to that in a second.
Yeah.
Um uh but Owl says there's like you all go get some rest. I I have some preparations I need to make.
I see.
Uh, um so does everyone start like making their way out of the room? The
But
rest
before
or
I do, could I ask him for a pen and a paper?
uh goes sure. Um actually has everyone else left the room except
I was
for
going
Ferret?
to say, I was
Ah,
going to
good
ask,
question.
is it normally this quiet here? There doesn't seem to be many people around.
We or at request of myself, a lot of our patronage has
Agents?
left
Ooh,
because
Asian.
I wish to not put them in any. I'd rather their faces remain unknown. So you have
I,
the run. You have the run of the place to yourselves for at least a day
Okay.
before you must leave.
I kind of nod and say thank you, and yeah, okay, I'll wander off
Okay.
and try and find somewhere to rest.
Yeah. And did you leave as well, Bears?
Hmm.
Okay. So it's just
Yes, yes.
so it's just Ferret and the owl in the room. Uh he hands you you ask for paper, pen and paper and whatnot. So he slides you paper and uh yeah, so yeah, he slides you pen and paper. Goes and he goes, here you go.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Is he planning on leaving? Or
No, he just leans like you know how like you lean back in a chair, it's on the back two legs, so he's kind of like rocking back and forth in it a little bit. So
does he want me to leave?
no, he hands you the pen and paper. He goes, you I imagine you wish to ask me something.
Do I?
I don't know.
Pretty,
He goes,
pretty.
he leans forward. He goes, I don't know. We've known each other for quite some time. He he takes off his hood, and it's Ro.
Dun dun dun. Okay, fair enough. I was not
Wow, she wasn't
expecting this.
expecting that.
No. Damn. I thought it was a setup when he signed it off with awe. Dun dun dun. Okay. Ro. I what? Uh, what? That's my question. What?
He looks at you, goes, well, someone has to take care of Cassidy in the shadows.
I knew you were a sneaky bastard, but I didn't know this sneaky.
He smiles, gives a nod. He goes, "You have your way of taking care of Cassidy, and I have mine."
Fair enough. I respect it. Thank you for it makes sense now why you let us know. I see. Why all the cloak and
We
dagger though?
we have a thief. We're a thieves guild, officially by name. We don't. We're not. The name's bad, yes, but we don't always do bad. I've always tried to protect Chaosity from the shadows, while you do it from the castle, basically.
Well, there goes my need for this pen and paper.
He gives a light laugh and goes, "You don't know who I am to anyone else.
Of course.
Thank you."
Your secret is safe with me.
Yes. He goes, he looks at you. He goes, "I'm not losing any more friends."
Oh. um, I,
Then he goes, uh, he looks at you. He goes, "I'll help out in every way I can."
can
And
I check the room to make sure no one is loitering um, before going up and hugging him?
uh, where is everyone else in the party? I imagine. Okay, so Crow and Numpty, you guys are off into the bedroom. Brett, I imagine you are. Barris, you're the only one I really don't know.
I'm wandering around, but nowhere close.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. So yeah, no one's around.
cool. Then I will hug Ro.
Yeah. He hugs you back. He goes, "It's good to see you again."
Same, same. I can't believe the situation we find ourselves in. I hope you're staying safe. You know, if Cordelia's back, she'll be coming after you, and you know why.
Yes. I'm gonna. I'm gonna get to the bottom of what she's up to.
Be careful though.
Of course. He he goes he puts his hood back on, covering his face. He goes, "Go get some rest. We have a long day tomorrow." And he heads out the room and just like disappears into the shadows.
Okay, fair enough. I just sit there with my pen and paper, like, okay. And I decide that I may as well put the pen and paper to use, and I write a secret message to my mother in the hopes that she would trust me more.
Okay. So are you okay? Are you using the spell that I made you to send the message?
If
Or
I can somehow do that, yes.
yeah, you can. So what does the message say?
It's a good question. I imagine I'll start it with uh Queen Kinia. Um, I'm sure you know who it is writing you this message. I hope that you are well. And I hope that that is a private message. How dare you? I, I hope that you're well, and I hope that your mind has not been twisted against me. Um, I'm sure you will trust me enough to know that the situation is not as it seems, and if uh, um, and if you can honestly say you trust me, then I shall reveal myself to you, and we can have a discussion about this. And then I sign off
Okay.
with
So
my
you sign. Yeah.
with
Sorry.
with with my real name,
Okay. So you sign it off with your real name.
because no one else is gonna
So
know that. Haha.
yeah. All right. So uh, the spell I made you is very similar to that of the find familiar spell for wizards, but slightly different. But I'm also doing the same thing. So when you use this spell, what emotions and thoughts are running through your mind right now?
Um, uh, desperation. Hoping that she's not been twisted against me.
Okay. So as you cast or you use your letter to because the letter is essential to part to for the spell itself. So
Yeah.
the message itself kind of like um grows like transparent in nature and kind of just starts taking on its own form. Uh it falls to the ground and it looks it it starts to take this like so it starts to take this like transformation into what looks like a a uh I almost say a not a not navy blue. It's a Twitter blue, the blue that Twitter uses for its website.
Ooh.
But it's a very vibrant blue, um, like blue haired fox, and in the fur of the fox bears um like you can barely make it out, but the only reason you can is because it's the sigil or the symbol of the royal family that you use that is used within your family, and it like the message like that takes this form of this fox. um it like twirls around in a circle, looks up at you. um it like you already wrote it to you, you already know who it's going to and stuff like that, and it immediately knows. And as you send it off to deliver the message, and you know it's not going to take very long because you are within chaosity, you just can't reach your mother. um it so you it like it twirls around in in a circle, scurries like underneath the table and into a corner of the into the corner of a room, very very dark corner, and it just looks like it like how a fox like would dive into like snow or anything like that. Dives into the shadows and like disappears,
Okay, that
goes
is
on.
absolutely adorable.
um uh it may take a little bit to get a response, but it will get there relatively quickly. While you wait for a response, what do you do?
I assume I wander off to the beds for a rest.
Yes. Okay. Um, you wander off to the beds of the rest. Is everyone like uh basically off to get like a rest, short rest, long rest, something like that nature, to like prepare for the upcoming day?
What time is it at the moment?
Ooh.
I'd say it's let's see. You were traveling through Chaos City, the city itself, during like I'd say the evening, so it's roughly night, almost midnight, possibly, give or take a few hours.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
have a
I feel like maybe it would be time to have an actual sleep if we think everything's going to be kicking off in the morning.
hmm, yeah. I have a random question.
Mm-hmm.
So Barris, you wear that hood, right?
Yeah.
But you're like your grandpa Barris. Do you also have cat ears? I mean, ferret ears under there?
That's a secret.
That's the secret. um, um, I mean, it can only be assumed, be him being a relative of the royal family, that he does have ferret ears, but no one shall ever know,
Oh,
for he keeps it a very close secret. Um, uh,
Okay.
moving on. As everyone kind of like gets ready to like to rest and get some sleep before the coming days, Ferret, your fox makes an appearance. Like you know, I would say it almost gives you a little startle because it crawls out from underneath your bed. Um,
Oh my god.
uh, and it loses its form into a letter. Your mother wrote back saying your father is absolutely furious with you. He doesn't know what to think, but he doesn't know what to do. Uh if there and she said if there's any way to clear up what is going on, there needs to be uh a, a there needs to be or action needs to be taken as soon as possible. Um if you need her help, she's willing to do everything she can. But she hopes that what you say is true or uh, and this is all just some essentially some sick joke or ploy.
All right.
Uh, if and she's like she basically says like so you can try to talk to your father directly. Um, you can have uh whether you bring your party or bring the people that you brought along with you because they are technically involved in this as well. Um, you can, but uh, she cannot guarantee their safety as much as she can guarantee yours because you are their daughter.
Hmm.
Everyone else, I mean, aside from Barris, because I mean, he is Grandpa Barris. Um,
And he's also dead already, so.
doesn't mean they can't banish him in the sense of returning him to the realm of the dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Um,
That'll be fine.
yeah, but as far as Bread, Crow, and Numpty, she cannot guarantee their safety
I see.
if you were to bring them.
So it's a me and me alone kind of deal. Hmm.
Um,
Is
if you
oh
wish,
yeah. Uh, can I sense anything through the way she's writing this? Is it
um,
you know?
no role necessary. This was like it looked like it was hastily like scribbled. Like she wrote this fairly quick, and it gives you the feeling like she is scared.
Okay. Okay. That would seem like it was her then, not.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
you recognize your mother's handwriting. This is your mother writing.
I didn't mean if it was not her, as if I meant as if she was still in control of her own mind and not
Yeah,
like
no,
yeah. Okay, cool.
um, with that, the next day rolls around. To the rest of you, known as Owl or Row, to you, Ferret,
Mm-hmm.
comes in like wakes you all up, lets you guys know, hey, it's time. If you guys have a plan, an idea, what are you guys gonna do?
That is a very good question.
Um, Owl, I'm just thinking to help us move around easier. Do you have anything that the princess can get changed into? She's a little bit conspicuous.
Absolutely.
Good point. Good point.
Absolutely. Let's see here. He offered. Hold on, give me just a second. I'm sorry. Let's see here. I'm sorry. So he lays out of a couple of things. Um, I'm sorry. You have to. Uh, all right. So yeah, he lays out a couple things, very like common esque clothes, very honestly rogue like clothes. Um,
Ooh.
he actually lays out a new set of armor for you as well. It is some studded leather armor as for you. It is a current like upgrade to you, Ferret. He goes, you take any of the clothes that you need. Um, and I am offering you this armor just in case, if you feel like you need it.
Thank you. I shall take it. I feel like we're in quite a situation here. And then I sort of bundle up the cloth that Brad gave me previously,
Yeah.
and I go to toss it back to him. Though unfortunately, it gets a little too close to a candle as I throw it, and it sets on fire.
I kind of smile weakly, like, well, I feel like we got you a change of clothes just in time there.
Yeah, that would have been really unfortunate.
What?
What?
What? What?
um.
Just talking about your what you're wearing, as it were.
Yes.
Are you still wearing this this weird necklace that caused all of this?
Oh.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
that actually.
That's right. I for yeah. So you still have you still have the amulet, the necklace. It's up to you if you're still wearing it. I mean, after what had happened, it became inert. It seemed like
Hmm.
it lost all magic, just became a regular necklace.
I assume I would have taken it off, but it would still be in my bag.
I'm wondering if I know I sort of examined this quickly when we first received it at the tavern.
Yeah, we were a bit
And
distracted then.
I'm wondering that if we're in town, if it's perhaps practical for me to somehow sneak over to my workshop with the tools that I have there, I might have a better chance at understanding what it was.
Uh, if you can successfully sneak, you'd have to roll some stealth. You'd have to roll maybe like one or two stealth rolls to get to your workshop, and then maybe a stealth roll or two back to here or to any other place. That way, you're not noticed or anything of that nature. I would allow advantage if to identify the amulet in the sense. Yeah.
I propose this idea to the princess and say, look, we didn't look at this thing properly. I've got some gear back at my workshop. I can maybe have a better look. I don't think anyone is looking for me in particular. It sounds like everyone knows there's something going on with you. I might be able to move around a little easier on my own.
I would perhaps.
Would you like me to try and check this out, or do you think it's too risky?
I'd perhaps not suggest
And
that currently, and
the king did like suggest both of us, right?
I revealed the letter that I got from my mother. where she states that only mine and Grandpa Barris's safety could be guaranteed. So I assume everyone, all the guards, at least all the knights, would be aware of the situation and all involved.
Yes, yeah, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say, if you want to roll an insight check, Ferret, on like, because you have relative knowledge of, so the Gosha is captain of the knights,
Of course.
stuff like that. You know him pretty well. You could roll an insight to check to see whether or not like how he is handling the like the way the guards are acting and the things of that nature.
Okay.
11.
Uh,
So you know that you know him well enough to be so to you know him well enough to know that he's more concerned about the like he's not concerned about the how do I put it, the like he's more level-headed than your father is. Like your father, you would imagine, is demanding that if you or anyone on your party is seen, to bring him immediately. But he's more Gosha is more level-headed, going, um, going. Okay, don't do anything rash. Don't make a scene. Uh, if you see someone that matches the description of who we're looking for, approach them, but discreetly. We don't want to like he's like he doesn't want to cause a scene kind of deal. But you know him well enough to go to know he's not going to like forcibly drag someone to the castle.
okay. Fair enough. I mean, I assume I'll relay that information, but also, I mean, you'd have to be stealthy because one wrong move, Brett, and you lead them right here.
Yeah, bears are famously stealthy.
Oh, say again?
Bears are not really famous for their stealth,
Yeah,
so
This
yeah.
is true.
Very true.
But
How many
yeah, no.
bears exist in the outer
So
city of Chaosity?
You did mention that we passed through what looked like a workshop on our way in here. Is it
mhm.
likely there would be any equipment here that would assist me with looking into this?
Give me a perception check.
I mean, again, that feels visual, so do I get advantage on that?
Uh um I'd say like no, because this specifically you're looking for stuff that's like you're not looking for something like vague, you're looking for something specific.
Okay.
So I'll say no. Um, there's some tools for that you can use for tinkering and things of that nature, maybe to help. Nothing like your workshop. Um, uh, it, y- if you were to try and use the stuff here instead, you wouldn't get advantage, but the DC will be definitely lower for you um, to achieve what you're trying to do.
Okay, Princess. I mean, yeah, I see your point. At the minute, if no one knows we're here, then at least we have some safety. But if if they did spot me coming out of here, that I might end up leading everyone to us. I mean, if you don't mind me having a look at the necklace, at the amulet, I can maybe have a little poke at it while we're here. Stay inside while you're doing whatever it is you've got planned, and see if I can find out anything useful for you.
No, go ahead. I'm perfectly happy for you to do that.
All right. So you want to try and go? So um,
I'd
Brad,
maybe
you want
get
to try?
get a magnifying glass out and set of
All right.
screwdrivers and whatever the slightly arcane version of a screwdriver is, and sort of poke it, see if I can
All right.
figure out what it does, how it works.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. DC is lower. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but the DC is lower from the original thing. Nice. So you recognize this as almost like a cursed. This item was cursed. The spell effect that was essentially cast onto this amulet was essentially uh, a mind control amulet. Essentially, allowed the caster to take control of a user in some way. You don't know exactly what kind of way. Just you know that it was used to take control of Ferret against her will. This is not easy magic. That kind of level of spells is not easy magic to achieve. In fact, you think like it takes someone very skilled in magecraft to not only use the spell but imbue it into into an amulet. Um, Aside from that, there's not much more you can discern from this. Um, but you know that at least it not just a regular enchantment, it was like a cursed enchantment.
Okay. I relay this to the princess, and say, okay, look, this is perhaps this could be evidence to show your father. I mean, this is not a common thing. It's certainly not something that any of us would have been able to set up. I mean, does that sort of, if not disprove our guilt, at least um, show that clearly we can't have been responsible and someone else must have been involved?
That is pretty good evidence. I mean, that could only lead back to one person.
I mean, who does mind control? That's dark magic.
Indeed, indeed, and I think that's exactly who we're up against here. And I would assume my father would realize that.
Ferret, give me an insight check real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Now that Bread has identified the amulet, you think it would be beneficial to bring him along to the castle because he was able to identify it. Because your father knows that at least he believes that you don't have at least knowledge of magic in the sense of like Cordelia is involved. So at least bringing someone that can at least say, "Hey, I've done this. I was able to check this, and this is what it is." Essentially, it's like bringing an expert to a to identify an item or the history of an item, kind of deal. So you think bringing him along would be very beneficial?
Okay. Fair enough. What does everyone else think about plans? Is what we were trying to figure out before Brad had the genius idea. What is the plan?
Let's
We have
just
plans.
Well, it's
let's
your
just
family. You tell it.
go show the evidence we have.
Okay. Okay. I agree that perhaps the best course of action would be to tackle this head on with my father, but I'm not sure that all of us should go there.
Yeah. I mean, you
I
and
want to
me,
go.
we are safe, so we could go together.
We certainly could. I believe Brad is a good option to bring with us, as
Yeah.
he has the evidence we need.
So,
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure about the other two.
what's the worst case scenario here? Is it that we're going to be having people waving weapons at us again? Could we maybe we all go, but the others are kind of stealthy? Maybe take up
Oh,
like an Overwatch position somewhere and keep an eye on what's going on.
that's a
Didn't Ferret's father say that Crow was trusted? Like, wasn't he the one that introduced us?
This is true. We were all people that he told you to get in touch
Yes.
with.
This is true,
Except
but
Does
for
that
me.
stand for anything?
I maybe not for the crazy old man over there.
Who
But
are you
no.
calling old?
Okay, the crazy young man over there.
You think I'm young?
Yes, Numpty, yes, I do.
Numpty, are you still shuffling around?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You guys, little side note. As you're talking to Numpty, kind of just walking on the walls on the ceiling, like back and forth, as you're just talking to him, like it's normal.
Okay. I mean, that could be really useful for as Brad has said. Perhaps we should have the other two in stealth positions should things go badly. I mean, we have been in a similar situation to this before, where we are perhaps walking into the lion's den and we don't know it, though.
That
We
is
are
kind of nice
slightly
to
more
say.
away.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we should
Endorsement.
plan for a fight, but we're in the
But we should
nest. I mean, I
plan
assume you
for a
guys
fight.
have
Oh no.
crossbows and things like that. Maybe you could lend us some gear, so the others can cover us.
And he's gone.
Lovely.
And poof, Nupty's just disappeared. We don't know where he is.
Yep, and Numpty is gone. Disappeared into the shadows of the ceiling.
Okay, well, we assume that Numpty's still listening and will still follow us.
So what is everyone doing as far as part of the plan that you guys have set in motion?
I think we've agreed that me, Barris, and Brad will walk in to meet my father, while Crow and Numpty stay in the shadows in case we need a quick way out.
That seems like a good idea, yeah.
All right. All right. Let's see here. So, with Owl nodding, understanding, okay, I'll see what I can do. And he disappears for a little bit, about an hour or two, kind of like set thing and try and get like the things set up in motion and stuff like that. He comes back, he looks at you, Ferret, Bears, and Bread. He goes, "Good. So Gosha will meet you at the main gate to the castle. Um, he looks at you. He looks at Owl. Looks at you, Crow, and let me roll a perception check. He looks up at you, Numpty. He goes,
Fuck.
and you. You guys will come with me, and I will help set you guys up to get ready if things go south. Um,
Okay.
so
I
well,
assume that because we're effectively enemies of the city at the moment. We're probably going to be searched going in. What is the nature of my bag? Am I able to hide things in there that would not be visible to someone just opening it and having a look through? Basically, can I stash all of our weaponry in there?
yeah.
They'll open it, go, oh, it's a load of
you
screwdrivers, and I
so
can just take it in and then dish it back out if things kick off.
so you don't really need to
Hmm.
worry about this all that much. I mean, you personally probably, but as far as Barris and Ferret are concerned, they are part of the royal family, so they are free to carry uh their their heirlooms, their weapons, their staves, things of that nature. Um, so you possibly they might try to take your weapons if it's not like secured or tucked away. Um, if you were to load your bag up with like your tools and a sword or whatever weapon you want to put in there, uh, you can like stash it away and attempt to hide it within your bag. So that's if you want to do something like that, you definitely can. I'd say it definitely help benefit you.
That'd be
Yeah,
wise.
I'll stash my sort of offensive gear in the bag so that
Okay.
I look non-threatening, aside from the fact that I'm a nearly
Bear man.
7 foot bear. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you guys will go through the front gate. Um, and so we're gonna quickly do scenario for Crow and Numpty. So how do you guys want to try and stealth? And like, what do you guys want to try and do? Do you guys want to use? So there's a couple options you guys have available to you. You can go through the city, uh, stick to the alleyways, the dark areas, stuff like that. You'll have access to essentially the main part of the castle via that way, like through the streets essentially. Um, or you can go through the tunnels that are that span throughout the nest and be able to access the castle from like the sewers, the dungeons, and things of that nature from the underground.
That's was that's what my suggestion would have been. Like I
Use
would
the
have asked if there were any tunnels available that we as a group would know about. So that would
well,
be my
you have Owl with you, so getting through a lot of this stuff is fairly easy. He will like lead you through whatever he will set you up. He will lead you to wherever you need to go. Um, so, um, just it is up to you guys where you guys want to go.
You know,
all
if it
right.
was up to Numpty, he'd probably just like kind of wander around like just a regular old man. I'd probably not really pay much attention. Just
I would like grab him by the arm and just drag him through the sewers.
yeah, it's like
Come on, follow me, Namthi. Come on,
basically
man.
Crow will have to babysit him.
Okay,
Yeah, but
so you guys are
Oh,
like
going through the underground
like
passages essentially.
good luck.
yeah,
Okay,
locking arms the way you would like walk with an old man.
okay. So you guys will be going through the underground passages. Um, so we will, because we're going to be wrapping this up here in a minute. Um, for Ferret, Barris, and Bread, you guys start approaching uh the main gate. Gosha is standing there waiting patiently. He's kind of like looking around, like because he doesn't see you yet. He's like looking around, waiting, kind of just he's still got like a slightly worried look because there's there's a lot going on right now. And being captain of the guard is not an easy job, especially when crisis is on your doorstep. Um, but yeah, you guys approach. He catches you guys, and he very like quietly, like very doesn't really speak too much. He's like, "Come, come." Uh, uh, leads you guys inside to the main castle. Um, there's not a lot of guards. You'd expect like an entourage of guards to kind of like keep things in order, but there's not a whole lot of like walking patrols stuff like that. It looks very fairly calm, um, probably due to Gosha's like command to try and like make it appear like things are calm within the castle. But he leads you to your father, Ferret, and uh, you, Barris, and Bread all are now standing in front of Lord or King Berdid. He looks up at you, Ferret, and with this, like, you see anger in his eyes. But you can tell he is holding his tongue and taking a second to try and, because, like, you are his daughter, and he is taking a second to try and, uh, like, be calm and rational about everything. He, takes a deep breath, looks at you, and goes, "Explain what happened."
Ah, Father, I can't believe you'd let her sway you like this.
But if anything she has shown me, to everyone that was in this main hall when she did, has any truth to it, it will cause a very serious problem. I sent you on a diplomatic mission, not to get into fights.
How lucky that your evil daughter had surveillance on us at the time, isn't it? You moron.
I don't want to
Ooh.
hear I don't want to hear it from a man who lost his mind to magic.
Grandpa, please. Now is not the time. This is a delicate situation. I
As
can explain.
I clear my throat and nod at the pendant necklace.
uh he the king looks at you, Red. He goes, "I see you brought the artificer I recommended to you, who was also a perpetrator in this incident. I imagine he has something to say."
I mean, Princess, would you prefer to be the one doing the talking here, or do you feel that do you sort of nod at me to say it's okay for me to take over?
I'll set it up and then let you take over with your findings, I guess.
Okay. I
Father,
look over at the princess and kind of raise my eyebrows and gesture at the amulet.
Father, it is, well, what you saw was indeed true. However, I believe you are missing the context. None of this is our fault. For you see, once we got to the Kingdom of Wrath, we sat down with the Lord and Lady. But however, this amulet somehow, which was gifted to me on a journey, somehow found its way around my neck. And I'm sure Brad could tell you here exactly what was going on with it.
Highness, I've inspected this in great detail, and I've never seen anything quite like it. It was imbued with some very dark magic and a way to control minds, and it affected your daughter when we were there, and she just spoke the name Cordelia, and then everything erupted. All of the guards and the royalty of the Kingdom of Wrath became
He
hostile and started to attack us. We were set up.
he you see uh like when you mention Cordelia's name, you see his like as he's sitting on his throne, and you see his like fist clench up a little bit. he goes, he clench up and he lets it loose a little bit, and he goes. He looks at Gosha. He goes, "Grab the amulet. Bring it here." Uh, Gosha walks towards you and holds out his hand, hoping that you will willingly give him the amulet.
Am I holding it or Ferret at the moment?
I assume you're holding it because you had it last.
I sort of glance sideways at you.
Give it to him.
I see you nod. Yeah, okay. I hand it over.
Oh, Barris,
So
no.
Gosha grabs the amulet. He takes a look at it, like a deep look at it, um, and like looks up at you, Brad. He looks over at you, Ferret. He turns and sort of goes over and hands it to the king, and king examines it and looks at it and goes, "So it's magic."
It was magic, Your Highness. It has expended itself now, but it was very dark magic. You can still see traces of it here to the trained eye.
And I'm sure you know there is only one person that would use this kind of magic.
He looks up at you, Ferret. He looks up her and he basically he scans the room at the three of you. Um, he kind of looks at Gosha and kind of just thinks and ponders for a second. He goes, he lets out a deep sigh. He goes, he looks at you, Bread. He goes, and how do you know this was magic?
Is our word not good enough?
I feel the direction this is going is that magic is forbidden within the city, but obviously my yeah as part of my as part as you know, being an artificer, part of my research into building things involves some element of the arcane, but nothing dark like in here, like in this amulet. However, having a trained eye for working with these things, I'm able to identify it, even if it is not something that I would use myself.
He gives like he starts nodding his head very lightly. He goes, "I see. But for safety reasons, for now, I will have to detain you, and I will send some guards to look over your workshop to make sure you are telling the truth. Make sure you are not dabbling in dark magics. I understand your work is to better our great city, but one can never be too careful. So I will have you detained for the time being. And I'll have guards go search your workshop to make sure you are telling the truth."
Highness, you are correct. You cannot be too careful. However, please bear in mind we've already been entrapped once. Someone has set us up already. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. We have not returned to my workshop yet since we returned from Wrath. I don't know what state it's in. It's not outside the realms of possibility that someone could have planted more fake evidence there against us.
And it is within the realm of possibility that you could be lying to me. So unfortunately, I will still maintain my decision to have you detained. We will go through your workshop to make sure things will are at order and no dark magic is involved with any of you.
I look
And
sideways at the princess and
as you do
raise my
so,
eyebrow.
he waves his hand, um, and two guards come up next to you, and they're uh readily like they're readily trying to lead you off to out of the main hall, and what you could assume is the prison cells within underneath the castle.
Father, uh, you can't do this.
He looks at you. He goes, "Listen, the lot of you have fought on a diplomatic mission and potentially may have caused a war. I need to make sure we are safe from that. Every possibility must be every possibility must be explored. If I am
Have
not
you
careful, we could have another mole man incident."
have you
And
spoken to the King of Wrath?
No, but I have sent emissaries to understand the situation more. I have not heard back from them yet, but in a few days, I imagine I will.
and you honestly believe that I wouldn't have done everything I could to avoid war?
Quite frankly, daughter, I have believed that I'd have two daughters within my castle who understood the laws that we have set in place, and yet I only have one.
But
So,
what reason have I ever given you to doubt me?
none. But yet, I trusted Cordelia as much as I trusted you, and yet I have given evidence that you have potentially abandoned peace with neighboring nations. There cannot be another war.
And I cannot let you imprison one of my friends.
If that is your stance, I'm sorry, but you must join him to not interfere with the investigation. If that is what you wish, then please follow them.
Princess, it's okay. We're the ones who have been wronged here. Your father will discover that soon. I, I will go with them. It'll be fine.
And if it's not, and if you have been set up?
I'll I'll be fine. It'll be fine. I sort of nod at you.
Fair enough. If that is your wish.
Um, so with
I
that, oh, go on.
Oh,
I tell my owl to go with Brett.
So your familiar ghostly owl kind of just like
Yes.
flies off in I imagine like through the walls and things of that nature to try and like stay, I would imagine, stay hidden from the guards and whatnot to assist Bread in this manner, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So yeah. So like your ghostly owl will go through walls, the floors, and things of that nature to try and make sure to keep up with um the guards and escorting your local man bear. Um, the king looks at you, Ferret, and goes, "In the meantime, You are home. Go rest up in your room. This will all blow over soon.
Fair enough,
And
Father.
hopefully, and he looks at you and goes, hopefully, you are correct. And my worries are for naught. I hope your friends are innocent. I wish not to spill any blood on my hand, spill any more blood. But if I must, I will protect the peace of Chaosity. Go. Rest.
Okay.
Can we just get a very rough idea of how separated out we're going to be? As in,
So-
I'm on the
Yeah.
way to. I'm going to be in a cell. Ferret's going to be in a
Okay,
bedroom somewhere.
So Ferret is Ferret's room. If that's where you go, Ferret, your room is in a separate wing of the castle. Though with your knowledge of the castle, you can believe that if you wish to go see Bread, it would take some sneaking and some stealth to do so, and whatnot. You could go and potentially speak to him. Bread, you are with going to like the to some of the underground areas, the dungeon of the basically the dungeon of the castle. And you have reason to believe, with discussing the plan prior, that Crow, Numpty, and Owl are going to be nearby. But you don't know how close or how far. Barris, I mean, he's a ghost, and he's honestly free to roam the castle as he sees fit. So, though guards are keeping an eye on Grandpa Barris to make sure he doesn't do anything that hinders the investigation.
Okay. As I'm being led off towards this cell, I point at Ferret subtly and communicate with her using message, if I can.
Ooh.
Give me a stealth roll to hide the fact that you're using magic now.
Bold of you to use magic while you being hauled away on.
You successfully hide the fact that you are using magic to communicate with Ferret.
That could have gone so horribly wrong.
Oh, it could have gone terrible.
So blatant.
But yeah,
as well.
so what do you tell Ferret?
Hey, that's how I roll.
That's how you might roll.
I say, don't worry, princess. Don't worry about me, princess. I've got a plan.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
You
Well,
got a plan.
so Barris is now wandering the halls and being kept a close eye on by the guards. Ferret, I assume you went to your room to, as kind of commanded almost by your father.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong with any of this. Bread, you're going to be in a cell into the dungeons of the castle, and Crow and Numpty are within the sewers underneath the castle. With that, I will have each and every one of you roll an a initiative roll, and I will say this:
Say it
Roll
right.
for chaos. Yeah, say it
oh,
right.
sorry, roll for chaos.
Can I just say, as I've been taken to this prison wing, to show them that things are legit. I've opened my bag, just shown them that it's just full of tools, and put it on the side. But I'd like to think they've seen in it and have seen it's just full of screwdrivers and hammers and things like
Yeah,
that.
no, when they checked your bag, it was just full of tools and stuff of that nature.
Okay, so I've just sort of put it down
Yeah,
Right.
I was
before they
inside.
put me into the cell.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Like, I know it's not typically how it works, but can I use my inspiration to get advantage on the initiative?
Sure, if you wish. I will
Hmm.
be right back, though, since we are now wrapped up and good to go for the next session.
Ooh.
I would have been fine anyway. But hey, I used it before I lost it.
Well, yeah, I have not used my inspiration, and I mean,
That was hilarious though. Like it almost landed on 20 the second time.
Oh wow! Well, I assume that is that.
Not quite yet. I'm working on a meme.
Oh, okay. Dupty's working on a meme, everybody. We can't leave yet. But yes.
Roll for meme.
Roll for meme. Let's go. But yeah. Wow. Okay. We're all a bit split up. It seems. It's gonna be interesting to see how that resolves itself. At the beginning of next episode.